My name is Raymond Hudson. I am the lead pastor of City Center Church here in Berkeley. Excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Nancy Gullum, and I am everything operations for our church.
I was blown away when I found out that you guys were recognizing us. That's why I said, hey, we got to have Nancy on here, right? Because she's the one doing the work. You know, I'm casting the vision, raising funds, building our team. But in the end, like our volunteers, what's happening, the accomplishments of it, it's all her. I just sign a check and show up. So
thank you, Ray. Yeah, it's really kind of you. It fuels my heart to keep going. I think Ray and I work really hard to appreciate our team because we know it matters. We know it matters to say thank you and to keep loving on the teachers and the district and the students of Berkeley.
I mean, I think a huge part of what we do already is serving the community. So when the pandemic came, for us, it wasn't an adaptation for us. It was like hey, we can actually lean even harder into it. One of the fun things that we were able to do is to be a part of the homeless families who were looking for housing, and so we got to help out with that. And so just here recently, there was one of those families moved from the shelter into a house, and so we were able to help with, I think it was the down payment for them to get into that house. And so that was just like a huge win.
Knowing that we're here to partner with you, that we're here to come alongside you, and that you're utilizing us, I think has been our silver lining, that you've let us in. You've said yes to us. You've said yes to our heart, yes to serving, and I think it's great.
One of the things we say as a church, our vision is like we want to impact, let's just say Berkeley, one person, one family, one community at a time. And so when the pandemic hit, it was like, I actually, not in a bad way, but I was excited. It was like, man, like here's another opportunity for us to serve, not the effects of the pandemic, but hey, here's another opportunity where we can galvanize our team and say, hey, like we can really be a part of the solution to the problem. I think there's people that see problems differently. I see it as an opportunity to be a part of the solution, and that's what we were able to do. But we've done the laptops when it first, as soon as the pandemic hit.
We cleaned those things.
Cleaned the laptops.
Oh my gosh.
We
that was a project.
Yeah, when you guys were trying to do the school supplies for students,
yes.
Nancy literally built out this huge cart for the district. Then we managed all the volunteers that came in with Duffy, and so we were there, I think like 8 weeks or something. Christmas time, we did bicycles for some kids at John Muir Elementary School.
That was so fun.
That was fun, yeah.
Little did we know how hard it would be to get those
find
bikes.
The bikes, because it was like right before Christmas.
So right before Christmas. I went to, how many Targets did we go to? All
you went
over
to
the
more
bay.
Than me. I went to
all
2,
over the bay, driving around to find those bikes.
Yeah.
It was so great. And helmets and locks.
Oh yeah, the helmets and locks.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. When you bring joy to someone, or when they're in their most desperate place, and then they find that there's someone out there that actually cares, not just says they care, but they actually do something to care, which is like what Nancy said, the district. We're going to say the district's our superhero. I'm sorry, I know there could be other things out there, but every teacher, every principal, every administrator, every staff member who's not a teacher but is still a staff, you know, that divide there, like every person, there's so much happening. But I think that, man, when you can create space and room for people to say, I have this problem, I don't have a solution for it, or I need a solution for it, and we can offer that, oh my gosh, it's golden.
My name is Gary Barbero Reyes. I've lived here in Berkeley for some time, and I'm a parent from Sylvia Mendez. I'm currently working as a bilingual tutor for Sylvia Mendez. A lot of things were changing so fast, and I saw there was a need to help out the Spanish community, and so someone said, hey, there's a lady in this organization, and it was Duffy. And they said, contact her, she'll let you know if there's a need to help out the Spanish community. So I did. Families were confused, they were not getting the information right away, so they were always behind, and I get a very good satisfaction that I was able to use what God has given me to help others. Now they were getting information in their own language they could understand, and I think it calmed all the craziness, you know, that this COVID was brought. It felt really good to be able to just sit with each family and just take them through every step so that they could feel more comfortable and feel like, okay, I could do this. I could support my kid. I could take the next step. Growing up as an immigrant, we had to work together with people in order for us to survive. Everybody has different skills. We need each other to be able to make it through. And I think it gets easier if we're part of each other's lives. So it's been amazing to see the community growing together, friendships developing, me growing personally, being less selfish with my time and being able to help others. Duffy and Valerie, they're strong women. You could put them somewhere and they'll take it all, and it's just amazing to be part of that group of women, you know, to learn from them that, man, you can throw things at them and no las mueven de ahí para nada. So, yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah, I would say they're my heroes. It's been a privilege, the fact that I am a woman of color with the skills, being bilingual, and being able to have a place where I could give. It's been powerful. It's been very powerful for me.
So I'm Sally McLaughlin. I have lived in Berkeley for about 20 years and have 2 kids in the Berkeley school system. The task runners are just great. They're wonderful people. We have a roster of close to 200, and about 85 are regular runners who take on tasks. So I'm kind of the central person who connects up the requesters, the people in the district, the teachers, the counselors, the principals, the case managers, the librarians who need materials delivered to families, students that cannot get to the Ed Hub or to the schools themselves. And I match those requests up with the volunteers. We also support families who are needing food assistance, which is the reality of the situation we're in. I think of myself as being on call at any hour of the day. I have got alerts on my phone, and when someone sends a request in, ding, I see, okay, I've got a few jobs. It's a logistics job. And it's very much sitting at my computer or looking at my phone and sending information back and forth, and then looping back and seeing, did the job go? Great, then confirming back to the original requester, it's all been done. 85% of our deliveries are done within a day of the request. And I felt proud that we were able to do that we as a group, that we got the systems in place, we can get a request and turn around, and I've got volunteers who turn on a dime. I put requests out to the volunteers, say, these are the runs we have. I never have to ask twice. Within hours, I usually have those tasks filled and they're delivered within a day. It feels great to know that what I'm contributing to work that is really helping students, helping families, and I'm part of this network of people from the schools fund staff to, as I mentioned, all these different constituent groups that are all working together to try to make things better. It's nice to feel like I have a purpose and that my time and energy and interests are being channeled in such a positive way. And I'm making a contribution, but I'm doing it with such a great team of people. The task runners are appreciative and happy to do it and fun to work with. And Valerie and Duffy have been wonderful. I'm really seeing Valerie at the Ed Hub and seeing her commitment to making sure that kids got what they needed. That really inspired me, made me want to do more than what I was doing, seeing her in action. And Duffy's been just such a great supportive leader, getting us what we need, open to suggestions. It's been a great group of people to work with, and all people that, for the most part, I didn't know a year ago. I try to focus on the silver linings, and it's nice when there's so many of them. I have more time with my kids, and this whole gig with the task runners has been a huge silver lining. It's a huge part of this year being okay.
My name is Lena So. I am a mom of 3 kids. I'm a school psychologist, and I volunteer with the Berkeley School Volunteers. Well, students and families have always been at the center of my work, and I work in schools, and so it made sense that when the pandemic hit, I would want to find a way to bridge those 2 passions of mine. Some of us have also realized that we are capable of of opening our hearts much more, making time to volunteer more than maybe we did in the past. Being able to deliver meals and groceries, save a parent from having to go out to a grocery store, or to, save them from having to be exposed to being out in public, and the time and the resources necessary to have to do all that while their kids are trying to do school from home. I think this was something that I felt like I could do because it's something I feel passionate about. Food is love, and that's how I express love, and feeding families, feeding kids. If they're fed, if they're nourished, if they're feeling healthy, then that's how they're able to learn best. That's what their brains will be primed to be able to take in more information and knowledge, and be in a better mood. It's amazing to me how flexible and how quickly people have been able to pivot from what they thought their roles were going to be, and then also stepping up as volunteers too. I think all of us were kind of in our own worlds, doing our own, doing our jobs, raising our families, trying to take times for ourselves, and then this happened, and I think everybody just kind of everything got thrown up in the air, and then we had to really rethink, like, how can we contribute? How can we do more to help our community? Because I think this pandemic, it affected all of these communities so differently, and so I think many of these volunteers felt like if I can be in a position to do something positive and to bring some relief and some aid and support to another family, then this was an ideal time to do it. I don't think any of us expected to be doing it for a year, but I think those who've really stuck with it and who've continued, I think we've all gotten a lot closer and gotten to know each other very well. We always think we don't have time, that there's never enough time to do more, and I think you can always find ways to open yourself. I realized that volunteering and being a part of a team, even though I don't get to see this team, but knowing that I'm part of like this army of volunteers is really powerful, because it really makes you feel like you're part of a community, that we're all standing up together and being activists in our own way, supporting Berkeley Unified teachers and families.
My name is Dan Johnston. I am a retired technology director and an organizer and an educator. Honestly, I kind of prefer to be the guy behind the scenes, helping other people do their job. And the work I've been doing with Berkeley School Volunteers is primarily, in my mind, it's addressing the digital divide, supporting the families in most need, making sure that they have the resources they need to participate in Google Classroom, making sure that we have classroom volunteers that can push into classrooms online and support the students in the most need. Well, the pandemic exacerbated the existing digital divide, and as such, it became an emergency for some families and an inconvenience for others. And it was those families that I think that it was our highest responsibility to go out and help as a community. And we recruited about 50 volunteers total, and I think we contacted about 600 students' families over the course of a couple of months. What we were doing is doing tech wellness checks, calling families who had requested a Chromebook, seeing if they actually got a Chromebook, if it was working, if they could log on and join their classroom discussions, were they able to get a hold of their homework, and then troubleshoot with them if they couldn't. My approach is I don't know the answers, but I can help everybody get to them. Asking a lot of questions, brainstorming with people about what would work, and then accepting their leadership and their ideas and moving forward. Everything I've done so far, I'm figuring it out as I go, because I'd never recruited and coordinated that many volunteers, and I had never run a project where we produced 15 videos in Spanish and English and text-based instructions to go with them. But I recruited volunteers who knew how to do that stuff, or parts of it, and together we built it. Basing this on equity, I think, is the thing to do. We just need to keep putting that back in the center, because the stuff I was talking about in terms of digital divide, those are equity issues. And if you let the equity piece go away and say, I need all the computers back, you're going to leave all these kids at home without the same tools that their classmates have. There's a sense of powerlessness you have with the pandemic. Locked in the house, can't go anywhere, can't do your, what you want to be doing. And it was really great to have a focus other than myself and outside of my house. Every one of our volunteers gets something out of that experience. They get that sense of purpose and feeling like they can help. And ultimately that work serves the greater society. and engaging people in a process that engages them in a greater good, I think is what it's all about.